good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome into another exciting Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants broadcast with us. My name is Jesse. For those of you who are new to us, we are all about bringing conservation, adventure, and science into classrooms around the world. And you're catching us on a bittersweet day, mostly sweet. It is the end of our Peak Discovery series in English. We have been featuring the amazing folks at mountain parks in Alberta and British Columbia, some of the most beautiful places, not just in Canada, but the entire world all year long. And today, if I have one of those like birthday streamers I'd shoot it, is the end of our English broadcast series. So I really encourage you, check out the whole Peak Discovery series. This is on our YouTube channel as well. There is so much to discover, from bears and canine units to fires and more. It has been an absolutely wild ride and a real pleasure and privilege to bring it to you. Now today, before I dive in with our topic, I want to note we are going to have a Kahoot together. So between our talk and our Q&A for the over 640 of you tuning in, this is the game pin. So please feel free to bring that up. In about 25 minutes, we're going to go live with that, test your understanding, have a little bit of fun. Now, I'm so excited today because we are heading back to Waterton Lakes for they're one of our favorite parks. They've been joining us for a long time now. And we are joined live by Amy Kitts, who's going to take us through on a journey of nocturnal wildlife. We are talking about Hoot and Howl and all sorts of creatures in between. What could those creatures be? What do you think of when you think of nocturnal creatures? Maybe you'll have the chance to answer that in the middle of the broadcast. But I know I'm going to stop talking because I want to turn you over to Amy. Amy, thank you so much for joining today and welcome to the program for the first time. This is great.
Thanks, Jesse. I am really excited to be here. And yes, thanks for setting up a little bit of mystery as we talk about nocturnal animals today. So hello, all. Thank you so much for joining me. I know we've got a big group today. I'm delighted to have everyone here. As Jesse said, my name is Amy. I am an interpreter here at Waterton Lakes National Park in Alberta, Canada. The park is also known as Baktumak-Sikimi. And before we begin today, I very much want to acknowledge that I am presenting from the territories of the Siksika Sidapi, the Kainai Bigani, Siksika, and Umskapi Bigani. And Baktumak-Sikimi falls within Treaty 7 territory, which includes Tsuut'ina Nation, Stoney Nakoda, Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Goodstoney. The Ktunaxa Nation have a connection to Baktumak-Sikimi, and members of Métis Nation Region 3 currently reside in the Baktumak-Sikimi area. The lands and waters of Baktumak-Sikimi have been used for millennia by Indigenous peoples for sustenance, ceremony, trade, and travel, and we thank them for their continuous stewardship and for sharing the land with us. All right, Jesse, are you feeling ready to learn about nocturnal animals?
I am so ready. I brought up our first winking slide here. It's very mysterious to begin, so I will let you dive in and get us underway.
Wonderful. Well, welcome everyone to Hoot and Howl. So I am joining you today from Baktumak-Sikimi, also known as Waterton Lakes National Park. And this is a really special place. You can see it up on the screen in front of you. However, we might be sleeping on one of its most spectacular features. Literally, Waterton is home to especially dark night skies. Now, in much of the world, particularly in big cities, light pollution negatively affects the night sky. Light pollution is the brightening of the night sky due to man-made artificial light, such as streetlights in the city. Now, this extra unnatural light can be disruptive to animals and natural cycles. It also makes it really difficult to see stars and planets in the night sky. Now, Waterton is located far enough away from large cities and other sources of light pollution that we can see that sky. In fact, Waterton is an international dark sky preserve. Waterton has teamed up with our neighbors to the south, Glacier National Park in Montana, and together the two parks are committed to keeping as much unnatural light out of the park as possible. So this means that Waterton is not only a really great place to go stargazing, but it is also home to a whole host of creatures that need darkness to thrive. Now, you and I, as human beings, we are adapted to go about the business of living, so eating, building a home, finding a mate in the sunlight. We are what is known as diurnal creatures. This means we are most active during the day and we sleep at night. In nature, some creatures have adaptations that allow them to best function in darkness. Adaptations are physical traits such as special ears or certain behaviors, like the way a creature might look for food. Animals that are adapted to thrive in the dark are called nocturnal. These animals sleep during the day and they are most active at night. Now, it is really important to note, you may have seen a nocturnal animal awake during the daytime. Likewise, we human beings, we've been known to stay up very late into the night. This isn't a mistake. It's not a super strange occurrence. Nocturnal doesn't mean that these animals are never out in the sunlight. It just means that they are most active at nighttime. Now, nocturnal animals sometimes have a little bit of a spooky or mysterious reputation. They do live in the shadows, after all. So today I am going to shine a light on those nocturnal animals and introduce you to some of the nighttime friendly adaptations that make these creatures really unique. So we're going to kick things off by looking at a few animals that live right here in the park. And what I would like us to do is identify them as diurnal or nocturnal. Now, remember, diurnal means most active during the day. Nocturnal means most active at night. So how it's going to work is I'm going to pull up a picture and then we can either go to the chat, or if we're having tech difficulties, you can let me know, Jesse, and I'll just give you a pause. You can discuss amongst yourself, yes, diurnal or nocturnal, and then I'll let you know what that animal is. So we're going to kick things off with the bear. So diurnal, active during the daytime, or nocturnal, active at night. Can we put this in the chat? What are we thinking?
Let's see. We've got a whole bunch of folks on YouTube as well, so please feel free to chime in. We're going to give everyone a little bit of time in all these, but our StreamYard chat, bears, diurnal, nocturnal, somewhere in the middle. We've got diurnals, our first answer coming in. Let's see. Maybe some of us have seen bears during the day. I've seen bears during the day. Diurnal and nocturnals. We got a mix of both. So far, mostly coming in as diurnal. We think they're day dwellers. Yes. Amy, tell us more.
Yeah, I won't keep you in suspense any longer. For those who said diurnal, yes, indeed. You can see our bears right here munching on their dandelions. They are most active during the daytime. They are diurnal animals. Next up, we've got our cougar. Diurnal, active during the daytime, or nocturnal, active during the night.
Ooh. By the way, we just recently had a big cougar program. If anyone wants to check it out, and if you saw that program, you will know the answer to this question. Everyone is coming in with nocturnal to begin. I think they might have something in our black background here is telling us about that. So what do you think, Amy?
I think they are correct indeed. The cougar loves to hunt at night, meaning that's when they are most active. They are nocturnal. Well done, everyone. Let's go to our next one, the bat.
Right. That's another one that might be fairly easy for some of our audience. I've certainly only seen bats in one of these times, and the answer is overwhelmingly nocturnal. Thank you, YouTubers, as well. Yes, I think.
Thank you, YouTubers. Yeah, absolutely. Indeed. Bats, pretty iconic nighttime creatures. They are, in fact, nocturnal. And what about our deer? Again, I think the background might give us a little bit of a hint.
Diurnal. Yes, we've got our day and night dwellers very firmly delineated now.
Absolutely. Oh, you are really catching on. You're all doing great. Our deer is indeed diurnal. And then finally, our last one. Now, this one might trip you up a little bit with the background, the owl.
Ooh. You know, this is interesting because the only owl I've ever seen in person, it was exactly this kind of sky in the background, but everyone is coming in with nocturnal. So I think they might have something with this one.
Can't stump you guys. Correct. The owl is, in fact, nocturnal. Well done, everyone. Thank you so much. So, yes, cougars, bats, owls, all nocturnal creatures, and there's so many more nocturnal animals that live in the park: wolves, mice, even skunks. Now, where you live, notice, do you ever see certain birds, rodents, or other animals only at night? Nocturnal animals live all over the world in both wild and urban environments. We just have to stay up past our bedtimes to see them. Now, first, why darkness? Why would some creatures best adapt to function in the dark? For you and I, as diurnal creatures, there's really not much benefit in trying to go about our business at night. But imagine you're one of the nocturnal creatures we saw on the screen. Why would being most active at night be good or advantageous for you? I'll give you a moment to think about it. But the answer is camouflage. If you're a small animal such as a mouse, that darkness will help you hide from predators. The opposite is going to be true if you are a large predator. That darkness can help you hunt in stealth mode and sneak up on your prey. So now that we know the difference between nocturnal and diurnal, we know why darkness, why it's beneficial, we are going to explore 3 different nocturnal creatures that live here in the park and their adaptations that they possess that make them nighttime experts. Let's kick things off with that cougar. So check out this photo. Look at that those eyes of that cougar. They are glowing. Cougars have very special eyes. Cougars have an extra mirror-like layer in the back of their eyes that diurnal creatures don't have. This layer reflects incoming light and allows the cells in the cougar's eyeballs to sense that light for a second time. That sounds pretty complicated, but imagine it's like shining a flashlight into a mirror. This means that more light enters the cougar's eyes, allowing them to better perceive movement and silhouettes at night. Now, many nocturnal animals share this adaptation, but cougars also have an added bonus. They have amazing peripheral vision. Now, peripheral vision is our ability to see out of the corners of our eyeballs without actually moving our eyes or our head. So now I would like us to do a little activity at home or in our classrooms, wherever we are, to test our peripheral vision. So Jesse, I don't know if folks can see me here, but if you can, look at the screen. And if you can't listen to my voice, we're going to test out our peripheral vision. So everyone, I want you to hold your arms out straight in front of you with your pointer fingers pointing right up. Now look straight ahead. Don't move your head. Don't move your eyeballs. Now slowly begin to move your arms to the side of your body. You can stop. You can give your fingers a little wiggle. Don't move your head, but can you still see your fingers? Keep on moving your arms. Don't move your head. Give your fingers a wiggle. Can you still see them? Ooh, I'm reaching the edge here. Keep on moving. Give your fingers a wiggle. All right. I've reached my edge right here. My arms aren't totally at shoulder length, but this right here is the edge of my peripheral vision. So wherever your arms are at home or in your classroom, you can move your head now. Turn and check that out. So on average, humans have about 180 degrees of peripheral vision. So wherever your arms landed, you can check that out again. That's roughly going to be about 180 degrees. Now, cougars have 280 degrees of peripheral vision. So if this is 180, you can imagine what 280 is. They can practically see out of the back of their heads. Now, cougars are stealth hunters. They hunt alone and use the cover of darkness and the element of surprise to help them overcome their prey. Their amazing night vision, it means that they are some of the best hunters in the park. And I really love this photo we've got up on the screen here. It is from our park, from one of our remote cameras, just from a couple months ago, a cougar in the park who has kittens. And you can see even the kittens, the babies, have those glowing eyes. Now, while cougars are known for their amazing vision, there is another nocturnal animal who calls Waterton home, whose sight doesn't really have a good reputation. Have you ever heard the phrase blind as a bat? True or false? Are bats actually blind? All right, I'll give you a moment to think about it. And maybe if we want to go to the chat, true or false? Are bats actually blind? Let us know, true or false.
And I want to note, this has been like the most active chat on YouTube and StreamYard ever. Like, you guys are the best audience ever. You're so on the ball. What do we think? Let's see answers pouring in. Okay. All the teachers on StreamYard are saying false. No, now we got a true. Okay. We're 75% false so far. Let's see what YouTube says. We got a few trues. We got a few falses. Mostly false with a few trues, Amy.
All right. Well, the answer is false. So congratulations to those who said false. But if you said true, I can understand. There's a rumor out there that bats are blind. However, bats are not actually blind. At night, they can actually see about as well as humans. So they have vision. It's just not really great. Instead of using sight to navigate darkness, bats use sound. Check out these ears. They are pretty big, right? So sound and hearing are the bat's superpower. Bats make high-pitched sounds, too high for humans to hear, and these sounds bounce off objects, and the echo returns to the bat's ears and creates a sonic image in the bat's brain. This is called echolocation. Using echolocation, a bat can tell the size, location, and even direction of any object, including their prey, which here in Alberta is bugs. All of Alberta's bat species, including the native little brown bat, which you can see on the screen, have a diet completely made up of bugs. They are insectivores. Bats are really helpful to humans by eating pounds of bugs each night, up to 70% of their own weight in insects. So having a bat around is really awesome mosquito repellent. Now, bats use sound and their superpowered ears to navigate dark night skies. Some people do say that our own sense of hearing is likewise heightened in the dark. So we're going to do another activity. If you feel comfortable doing so, wherever you are in your classroom, at home, I invite you now to close your eyes. I'm going to play some nighttime sounds from here in the park. Observe. Do you feel like you can hear better in the darkness? All right, everyone, you can open your eyes back up. Those were some of our nighttime sounds here. A little bit of wind, some frogs singing. So bats use sound to navigate the night skies, but other nocturnal animals do the opposite. Silence can also be a nighttime superpower. So I'm going to play another sound, and I want you all to guess what animal makes this sound.
Amy, it's universal owl. Everyone says owl.
Amazing. Well done, everyone. Yep, it is an owl, specifically the great horned owl, one of Waterton's greatest nocturnal predators. Now, this owl relies on silent flight to help find food at night. Sometimes called night tigers because of their striped patterning, the feathers on their wings are fringed, just like a comb. This fringing reduces turbulence in the air passing over and under the wings, allowing that air to just pass right on through. And this means the great horned owl is completely silent when soaring in the sky. Their torso feathers, so the feathers on their belly, are also really soft, really fluffy. Again, this reduces noise. Even their feet are covered in really soft, fluffy feathers, and this helps them be quiet when landing. Think about walking in a pair of really cozy, fluffy slippers as opposed to walking in a pair of clickety-clack high heels. Now, imagine you're a mouse, the great horned owl's preferred food source. If you cannot hear this owl coming, there is a very good chance you may end up becoming dinner. Now, although their flight is silent, their call is not. That hoot that we heard of the great horned owl is one of the most iconic sounds of the nighttime. Although we diurnal creatures, we don't have the night vision of a cougar. We do not have the echolocation of a bat. We don't have the silent flight of a great horned owl. We can become a little bit more comfortable in the dark by getting to know the sounds of nocturnal wildlife. So I want you to all check out the photos of nocturnal animals that we've got up on their screen. Now, what's going to happen is I am going to play their call, the sounds that they make at night. That sound matches one of the animals that you see up on the screen. So I'll play the call. And then once again, you've been awesome in the chat. Let's keep it going. So put in the chat what animal you think makes that sound. So I'm going to start off super duper easy, something we've already heard.
Owl. It's not an owl. It's not a crocodile. It's still an owl.
Yeah, not a crocodile. I would be amazed if a crocodile made that sound.
Me too.
Absolutely. If we're hearing owl, well done, correct. That is that iconic hoot of the great horned owl. Let's play our next one.
Oh, instant. Man, this is a quick crew. Raccoon, 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 raccoon.
Absolutely. I will say, if you live in a city with a raccoon, you probably hear that a lot at nighttime. That is indeed the chirp of the raccoon. Well done, everyone. All right, I'm going to let the next one play for a little bit longer because there's lots of different sounds going on in there. So listen very closely.
I think they're on the ball with cougar. Very cool.
Ooh. Yes. Absolutely. If you said cougar, you are correct. So cougars are quite vocal. So you might have heard, if you listen very closely, a little bit of purring, just like our house cats, some chirping as well, some squeaks. Cougars are also known to scream, which sounds quite alarming. So indeed, well done. That is our cougar. And we'll play our final one. I'm sure you'll get this very quickly. All right. What are we thinking?
Oh, you didn't hear us howling wolf. We were howling it with you.
Oh, what? Oh, I love it. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, perfect. Yes, indeed, the wolf. And I'm so happy to hear that you're howling. You're warming up because wolves are another iconic creature of the night that we have here in the park. They are pack creatures, meaning that they live and hunt in groups, and that pack uses their howl to communicate with each other in the dark. So I love it that we're in the mood to howl and get in touch with our wild side here, because now that we've become better friends with these nocturnal creatures, exploring a few of the adaptations that allow them to thrive in darkness, I want us to join our wolf pals in a group howl. So exactly like what you were just doing, Jesse, I want you to do it with me. Everyone at home and in your classrooms, I'm going to kick us off on the count of 3. I'm going to start to howl. Everyone join in, get in touch with our wild side today, and we'll howl. Feeling ready?
Here we go.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God, you guys are great. Right.
Wonderful. Oh man, that was awesome. Thank you so much for joining me in a group howl. Round of applause. That was so great. There truly is nothing like a nice howl to make you feel like a part of a community. So now that we are full of that community spirit, you might be wondering, what can you do to help make sure your local community of nocturnal creatures can survive and thrive? Well, it is all about protecting that dark night sky. Imagine you had to do a whole day of school completely in the dark. It would be really hard to learn, to play, even to eat your lunch. That is what life is like for nocturnal animals when there's too much unnatural light at night. The light disrupts their ability to find food, make a home, and fulfill their role in the ecosystem. You can be a friend to nocturnal animals by turning off your lights at night and encouraging your family and friends to limit the use of outdoor lighting when it's dark out. So by doing this, we can help nocturnal animals hoot and howl well into the future. I'm still buzzing from that group howl. Thank you all so much for joining me, being super active on the chat and learning about nocturnal creatures today.
Well, Amy, that was so much fun. And what we're going to do first is dive in with our Kahoot together, test some understanding, have a little bit of fun. I'm going to pull up the game pin for you and everyone else. If you want to come out of screen share, please feel free to. For those who are new to Kahoot, the faster you answer, the more points you get. And what you win is the everlasting respect of Amy and I. So let me pull this up. Just a quick little thing there. Let's see. All the buttons are being very slow for me, but that's okay. And then we're going to dive into the big long Q&A for about 15 minutes. So get ready. You guys have already been such a great audience. I'm going to say a special shout out to our YouTube classes. Our live classes will come on in a minute. WA Day in Fort Macleod particularly, I think, has been involved in every single one of our Peak Discovery series. So you guys really rock. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm and effort. And with that, folks, we are going to pretty much get underway here as soon as the buttons let me. 57 of you in so far. The faster you answer, the more points you get. And Miss Rice, we're going to be coming to you first in our Q&A, just so you can get all ready. Let's start this off and get started. Amy, if you want to give us hints when there's a few seconds to go in each of these, by all means, give us a little plug on what the answer might be. All right. 3, 2, 1. Nocturnal creatures are. What are they? We're going to find out. What are the options? We've got mostly active at night, only awake during the full moon, most active during the day, or fictional creatures found in ghost stories. I think you guys you knew this very well earlier on. That's what our answers are.
I would say so.
12 answers. Yeah, they nailed it at the beginning. 45 in. Yes, they are creatures active at night. No one was stumped. You guys are great. Funny Squid takes our lead as we go to question 2. All right. Amy, you didn't even need to give them help on that one. They were like chomping at the
No, they're on it.
bit. All right. Bats see at night using what? A mirrored layer at the back of their eye, echolocation, a flashlight, or sense of touch. I want to note, by the way, just for our people that are as nerdy as I am, tapetum lucidum is the name of that reflective thing at the back of your eye. So if you see something whose eyes shine back at you at night and you want to like blow your parents' minds, tell them that that's the tapetum lucidum and they'll just be shocked and amazed at you. Echolocation. Amy, they're so smart. They're like on the ball. So some creatures do have a mirrored layer. For those who pick that, bats use echolocation. That's very important as they use the reflections of their own screams, basically. Which of the following is an adaptation of the great horned owl? Combed wing feathers for silent soaring, fluffy feet feathers, soft torso feathers, or all of the above? Anyone who's done a Kahoot with me before knows that I like one kind of answer in this particularly. Although I must say, I do like the alliteration of fluffy feet feathers. It's just fun to say. 2 more seconds to go. 50 of you ever answers in. The answer is yes, of course, all of the above. Some of you are really quick on those first ones. So yes, all of those things are true. But all owls do fly quite silently, which is one of the coolest things about them. You should watch videos of owls flying and how quiet they are. It's very neat. All right, wolves howl. Yeah, they do. But to ward off predators, today discovered by a record executive become pop stars to scare humans or to communicate to members of the pack. Maybe that's what we're doing together in our group howl, is communicating to members of our pack. That's your hint / answer. 43, get those answers in. Nice, everybody. Okay, 60 of you got the answer in. Communicate to members of the pack is correct. And our leaderboard, our podium is, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Flying New is third. Amazing Gator is second. See, we did get a crocodilian. And first, for all the marbles, is Funny Bear. Way to go. Cool, guys. Well, our diurnal bear, we'll say. Thank you so much for taking part with that, everyone. And we're going to head to South Lake Tahoe. Miss Rice's class, if you want to bring us in on your virtual school, I'll bring you on camera. If you want to share a question on behalf of your kids, you are good to go. Hey, Miss Rice. Oh, take your time. I know you got some the screen share and everything too. Cool.
Do you have a?
Oh, yep. I can bring up your screen share. There
Okay,
we are.
yeah.
Oh, yep. There we are. Hello.
Bring up your screen share.
There we are. There we are.
There we are. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Keanu, where'd you go? All right. What questions do we have? Well, I don't know. This year we studied burrowing owls. We read the book Hoot. And that was kind of what I was inspired to come to your field trip today. So, Coral, I'm going to let you go ahead and ask a question, Coral.
Perfect.
How many nocturnal species of animals are there?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so I know we're having some real tech challenges with the screen share double, but how many nocturnal creatures do you have in the park? I think is our question.
Oh, goodness. That's such a good question. I don't have numbers on how many we have, but quite a few animals are nocturnal in the park. And you'll notice this is not something we talked about today, but a lot of animals, even if they are diurnal, they're actually most active early in the morning and right before bedtime. So right at dusk. So almost all of the animals in the park are going to be pretty lazy in the daytime, and then they're going to be quite active in the early morning when it's cool and fresh, and late at night when it's pretty cool and fresh as well. So I don't have an exact number of nocturnal animals for you, but things get pretty active at nighttime here in the park.
Yeah, great question, guys. All right, 7 birds is Miss Crispin's class. Welcome in Alberta. Unmute your mic, and we're heading to Illinois right after that. Hey, guys. Welcome.
Yes.
How late at night do they start getting active?
Ooh, how late at night? Another really good question. Well, for most truly nocturnal animals, so that bat, everyone on the chat was really great. They were like, absolutely, a bat is a nocturnal animal. They are going to wait until it's truly, totally dark out to come out at night. And so you'll notice, particularly right now in the summertime, we stay bright outside here where I am in Alberta pretty late. And it's just when the sun has truly gone down below the horizon. So right now that's going to be about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night that those animals will start to come out. But that's going to depend on when it gets dark out. In the winter time, that might be 4:30 at night. So it depends on the season as well.
Yeah, that's a very great bit of nuance there. I'm in Newfoundland, so I'm way further north than I was in Ontario, and the nights are much brighter here in the summer, which is quite lovely, and much darker in the winter. Avoca West, Glenview, Miss Michael's class, grade 3s, come on in, everybody. Hey.
Are there any animals that are nocturnal and diurnal?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Well, again, like I talked about in the first question, there are some creatures, and I'll use a term here that we didn't talk about. It's crepuscular, and they are awesome, Jesse, already up on the screen. And so those are the animals that are actually truly most active. So meaning that's when they're going to hunt during that morning time. So dawn and dusk. So that time right before nighttime when it's just getting a little bit dark, just getting cool, but it's not quite true night out. And so those crepuscular animals, they're kind of in that in-between space. So not quite nocturnal, not quite diurnal, but living right on that edge. So we do have that other category of crepuscular animal that you could kind of consider to be both.
I'm so happy every time I get to bring that up as a banner. It's my favorite of all nature words. So thank you for that question. I'm going to take a quick one from YouTube, and then Miss Gail, I'm coming to you next. Mr. Edwards' class at Fort McLeod. Again, they've been joining us at WA Day all year long. They've got a bevy of questions, but let's just see a quick one. How do mice protect themselves at night? So things that are easy to eat. What do they do when it gets dark and there's all those nocturnal predators out for them?
Yeah, great question. Well, I don't know if you've ever had a mouse in your house, but you will notice if you have that they don't love running out in open areas. They're going to stick to your walls, your baseboards, the edge of your counters in your kitchen if you're unfortunate. So they're sticking to hiding spots. So that camouflage that we talked about before, they use the cover of darkness to help them hide, but that's not the only thing that they're using. So they're sticking to corners. They're going to stick to underbush, trying to keep themselves covered, really, because we talked about that owl as well. So that owl's flying overhead. They're aware of that. So they're going to keep low to the ground. If they find logs, bushes, they're going to keep close to those corners in that coverage to make sure that they stay hidden from predators.
Yeah, we're a really big animal, so we don't really need to worry when we go out for walks at night. We can just stroll around like this. But if you're tiny and things want to eat you, you are furtively hiding as much as possible. Now, I want to know, we've got 3 more live classes. We are nearing the end of the broadcast. What we're going to do is take questions from those live groups, and any classes that have extra questions, email them to us at Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. We'll get them to Amy. She's graciously agreed to take extra ones. I wanted to bring in as many groups as possible today, but it means each get about 1 question. So I love your enthusiasm, everyone, and do write me any more. But let's head to Charlotte Lake Elementary. There's Miss Gail's class. Yes, come on in, guys, and take us away.
Hi.
Hi.
How does firefly see?
Ooh.
How do fireflies see? Oh, that is a really great question. And yeah, insects are a whole other category that we may encounter more at night. And that's also why that bat that we learned about, an insectivore, it loves to be out at night. Its food is out during that time. Now, how does a firefly see? I'm going to be honest, I don't really know, though I'm sure they have some pretty cool mechanisms. Jesse, I see your hand up. Could you tell us?
I was just going to say, I mean, the functional thing is like they're just like any other insect. They have eyes. Their eyes are a little bit different from ours. So they don't quite operate in the same way, but most insects can see. And at night, they're able to just see those lights just like we do. So that's the fundamental answer. I do want to take the chance to plug something, which is synchronized fireflies, which everybody should go look up when they're done this broadcast. Because I've seen fireflies my whole life. And there's like one, and there's another. Well, in some special places in the United States, an entire forest of fireflies all blink on and off at once. And they actually don't tell people where those forests are because they're such a special place and they don't want people to disturb them. But there's some great videos, synchronized fireflies, if you're keen on them. So there you go, Amy.
Amazing. Love that. I can't wait to look that up.
Yeah, let's head to Shauna May Secondary in Edmonton. Come on in, unmute your mic, guys, and we're going to wrap up with Miss Fisher's class in Carsonville in a minute. Hey, guys, welcome in and take us away. Unmute. Come unmute. Hi, guys. Welcome in. Hi. I know I want to hear from you, though, too. So flick on your microphone and give us a question if you have one. I can always come back in a second, and I might do that, actually.
Hi there.
Hi.
Okay, we had a question about bioluminescence. So, go ahead.
Are there any animals that use bioluminescence and they're like nocturnal?
Yeah.
Ooh, bioluminescence. At first, great word. That's awesome. So bioluminescence, for those who don't know, now I've experienced some bioluminescent plankton before, which is pretty cool. Not something we have here in the park, something I experienced in South America. So what happens is that this is a creature, and Jesse, you might be able to help me out, but they have a little bit of an electric charge to them, actually. And so at nighttime, if you create static in the water with this plankton, they actually spark a little bit and they create this beautiful glow in the water. It's like there's stars in the ocean. Really spectacular, really cool. And so that is a creature, when you ask about something that is nocturnal, those plankton are actually in the water in the daytime as well. We just can't actually see the spark while the light is out. It's only at nighttime that we can see that spark when it's dark enough at night. And so not quite a nocturnal creature, but something that we as humans get to experience the beauty of only when it's dark out.
Well, and the same idea for stars in the sky, just like our backdrop here. Like the stars are out there. If I look out in the middle of the day, it's just that the sun is so bright, I don't see them. If you ever get the chance to be in any body of water where there's bioluminescence, it's one of the most magical things you can ever experience. It's here where I am in Newfoundland too. It is so, so cool. Travel the world to go see that when you're a little bit older, kids, because it is very, very special. Great question, guys. Well, I want to note again, this is on our YouTube channel, so if there's anything you missed, you wanted to catch it, check it out there. The Peak Discovery series has been amazing. You can check all the programs out on that YouTube channel there. And Amy, I'm going to bring you in to say a final message in a minute, but we are going to wrap up in Carsonville, Michigan. Miss Fisher's class, come on in for one final question. Hey, guys.
Hi there. We have Brady with a question.
Brady?
How do owls turn their head all the way around?
Ooh,
Good question, Brady. So great. So it sounds like you know a little bit about our owls. So owls, as Brady said, they are able to turn their head not quite all the way around. So not a full 360, but pretty darn close. Now, they can do that for a couple reasons, but mostly they have a different spine than what we humans have here. And so they have the ability, unlike us, we're kind of like, our heads are a little bit on like a flagpole. And so we have to turn with that flagpole. Those owls have a little bit of a different mechanism, which allows their head to go almost all the way around. So it has to do with their skeleton and their bone structure. That's a really great question.
that is a great question. I think owls are 270 degrees that they can go around. So if I'm me, I can face that far. An owl can go all the way and face that way with his head turning to the right, but he can't go further than that. Otherwise, the head would just pop off, and that's not good for anyone. Amy, this has been so much fun hooting and howling with you and all our kids together. Is there any final message you want to share before we bring in everyone to say a big thank you and farewell?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for your enthusiasm today, your great questions about nocturnal animals. I can tell you're really curious and really passionate about those creatures that need darkness to thrive. So our message for you as we wrap up is to remember those nocturnal creatures as it gets dark out at nighttime. Think about what they need, that darkness, in order to survive and thrive. And anywhere in your home or your neighborhood where you identify a little bit too much excessive artificial light at nighttime, see if you can turn it off. Or if you can't, talk to the adults in your life, see if they can turn some of those lights down or completely off at night. That helps our dark night sky. Just like the bioluminescent plankton we were talking about, they need that darkness in order to glow and to have their beauty shown off. Those animals need darkness as well. Here in the park, we're lucky to preserve our dark night sky for them, and you can do a little bit of that at home as well by turning those lights off at night.
Amy, no better message than that. Thank you so much for your passion and expertise. And as you may know, we're going to bring in all our classes to say a big thank you and farewell. So Miss Fisher's class, Sean and Secondary.